today. That's all that's really going on. It's kind of a gray rain. I've been told before that I specialize in driving around in gray, rainy conditions, and that's it. So, you know what? If I have 10 viewers and 8 of them are haters, well, that's still 10 viewers, isn't it? I'm good with that. You're still taking time out of your day to watch me. In here a little bit. And we'll get it off of the glass.
One 7:49 p.m.
Just a note to anybody who may be watching and wanting to comment. I can't see comments right now. I'm on the mobile app, and even when it would put comments up, they were this big and I couldn't see them. Because it's phone screen. Turn that radio down. So, I've got my tablet in here, and I'm going to be figuring out a way I can set it up to see comments on that. From when I'm out and about, and I'm in truck 2, and I don't feel like putting a laptop stand in it, this will be what I'm using. Just kind of chilling. That down a little bit so that I don't get hit with a strike. A little bit of problems with setup on the platform today. I'm streaming to X, Trovo, Kick, and YouTube. Because every time I try to use one of those, it says I need to log in, and then I log in and it says I'm connected. So never saw that art pop up from that woman who was obviously a bot yesterday, so I guess she's a bot. Oh, I wanna get you on Discord. Can you message me on Instagram? No. Where it's a virus. Alright. On 422, this stream today brought to you courtesy of Roamlink by Mobile Must Have. MobileMustHave.com/Roamlink. Go ahead and go there if you need to get a rock-solid data solution. Combines all 3 major cellular carriers into one rock-solid stream. Roamlink Connect. I'm a little swimmy this morning. The diabetes is kicking my ass. Maybe you wouldn't have to lay into the Jake brake if you weren't trying to drive a semi-truck as fast as humanly possible in rainy conditions in a 55. I'm sorry I'm only going 68. accident over by Greater Butler Mart. I am, however, not the type of media stringer that does car accidents. A little bit about me. You guys don't know, I've been doing EMS now. I've been working in emergency medical services for just shy of 30 years. And one thing I remember from being a very, very young teenage EMS provider is that even as another EMS provider, fire and EMS hate it when extra people show up on scene. They hate it. Now, in some situations where there's extra helping hands, and they need help, they'll be like, oh, tell you how many times when I was 16, 17, 18 years old that happened. You're going to, like, yeah, some guy with a Bensley license, and he offered help. And then you get dragged into a chief's office. What do you think you were doing? So, especially as a media stringer, I don't go to car accidents. It's a good way to wind up arrested. I don't go to car accidents. By the letter of the law, should it be that way? No. In practice, is it that way? Yes. You don't wind up getting arrested by going to the accident, by the way. That's not how they get you. They build a slow case of persona non grata against you, and then they find something that you're doing that's not to the specific letter of the law, and then they get you for that. So I don't go do stuff like that anymore. I do the weather, current conditions, and BSing with you guys. Find a lot less hassle in tasers and handcuffs that way. You'll cover protests? No. Not in a million years. Lock it to the I-Core system right now. So I'm still going to listen to the car accident.
Yeah, 903. Leader of the entire one approaching.
Got the Sheets Winter Wonderland coffee. Subtle, very subtle hints of cinnamon, but mostly white chocolate, nutmeg, a couple of other things. Delicious coffee.
Demand 99 cents. Cruise the scene. And then you can pull up right behind exit 3. That's received. You're going to have one repair.
Or you got one refusal out of the accident. Oh, yeah. Why did the city of Butler take a tower ladder to a car accident? Anyway. We saw a little bit of a chat stream yesterday morning. Had some long-timers there. Bill Millington and Josh from JN Photography. I don't remember his last name. Love my long-termers. Every now and then Justin Selig stops by too. It's pretty
And we'll
cool.
see you guys in returning service if you have it. You'll see.
It doesn't sound like a big deal
Okay.
car wreck.
Just tracking service.
Be willing to bet it was a slow speed slide into a rollover.
Control 9910's on scene. Yeah, not sure about that.
Rough ass patches where they repaired the road. Oh. Let's go up here to the boat ramp. I bet you this rain has completely overspread the area. Let me take a look. Let me take a look on weather-wise. Oh, yeah. Location error. Oh, I know why there's a location error. It's because of the Wi-Fi. Oop. Not sure why the Wi-Fi doesn't transmit the location, but it definitely doesn't. Navigation. Turn that off. Yeah, I want METARs. North America. And let's get navigation. Yes. And there we are. Yeah, rain is completely overspread the area. So it will be rain, solid rain, pretty much all day. Sounds like everybody signed a refusal down there. No patience, that's good. Automatic windshield wipers. So strange. be a long stream today. I'm going to get back home here in a tiny bit, take care of some things. Maybe be out long enough to get lunch, you know. This stream is being carried by Roamlink Connect in its pure form. No Starlink integration today. Look at that, man. Crank that back down. 70.
Director, Drivestream.
That's not good.
Okay.
Maybe not even long enough to get lunch, man. But while I'm sitting here, let me see if there's a way to read any comments. I wonder if there's a way to do it by going to Streamlabs. Get sponsored with Streamlabs. Might have to do that. I'm not 100% sure, man. Doesn't appear to be a way to do it through the Streamlabs dashboard. Let me take a look at the multi-chat. Oh, I see.
Township, 75 real mail citation, possible persist. I'm not
Just saying, found the chat box. An AI sentiment graph. Gotta be kidding me.
51.5 by the revised, the seizure is now stopped. Okay, if you still am on the line, are they able to let us in the garage side? The insurance on scene. Okay.
Here, I'll put it over
The
here.
patient's father was going to come down and meet you.
It just wants to hover. It doesn't want to attach. There we go. That's how you do that. Bend it up a little. And plug in a charger. There we go.
You just
Cool, I have access to chat now. Classic. PennDOT coming down here for a union break because they got to hit the cane. Summer's Day version 2. Alec, Louisiana. First Minnesota snowstorm later tonight. Cheers to Keystone. Drive safe. Hey, bud, how you doing, man? Little known fact. Alec, Louisiana. Not in Louisiana. That just apparently happens to be his last name. He's in Minnesota. Yeah, I hear that the snows are coming for the northern reaches tonight. We're going to start seeing lake effect snow up here on Thanksgiving. I will not be able to cover said lake effect snow because I will be at Thanksgiving. Then the next day I have to work the overnight shift at an EMS station in Pittsburgh. And then on Saturday, me and Joe Gambita, Pittsburgh weather dude, Keystone Prime Chief Meteorologist Joe. We're going to be in Truck 1. We're going to be in the Butler Spirit of Christmas Parade. We're going to be doing a live show before that. Probably a live show during that. We will have the full streaming encoder set up in Truck 1 for that. So you'll have the warning bar and all the graphics and multiple camera angles. It'll be great. Commercial fire response. It's my Streamlab spot on YouTube. stating the obvious, always have multiple ways to receive warnings. This includes the WEA alerts on your wireless phones, NOAA weather radio, and local and national broadcast media outlets. Always have a plan. And that is the best way to survive severe weather incidents, is to always have a plan. Develop that family safety plan with everyone in your home. Don't make it a big central theme. That's a bit odd, wouldn't you think? Very Cold War-esque, but develop a family safety plan together, prepare, put it in place, occasionally quiz each other on it. And when you're sitting at home with your kids, like, hey, if there's a tornado warning, where do we go? And see if they can tell you. Kids can actually tell you a lot more than you think they can. Fairground Market, Butler's very own Fairground Market. I'm going to talk to them. I also ought to talk to Witchy's Auto Glass. Oh, is that an operating PT Cruiser? It is. You don't see that much anymore, especially up here. Cars have a tendency to fall apart on the road right in front of you up here. Up this way. Alec, closest lake effect region to me will get 20 plus inches. I'm a bit jealous. Yeah, me too. I saw that. I can't remember what region. Is that down near Chicago or northern Indiana? Can't really remember. Alert ever sent by NWS Pittsburgh a few days back. Ironwood, Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Yeah, UP always gets Southwesterners if that's the case. UP's getting hammered like that way, or Southeasterners. They sold that Ford Estate wagon sitting back there. Two-door, about a 1960 two-door Ford Estate wagon was sitting back there for sale for a good long time. Mike.
Good.
MKE.
Can you go past 117 from Silverview Lane and catch the hydrant there and lay back?
MKE196MBY. That is a very odd username. Any advice for me? The first time we're going to Extreme Lake Effect. Always been a good winter driver. Got my 4x4 truck. Okay, so 20 plus inches. That might sound like a lot, but you're talking about it being spread over a few days. That's not too terrible. I would say if you got a 4x4 truck, first of all, good tires. good, like some people poo-poo all seasons. I don't. If you have a good set of all-season tires, especially with an aggressive tread pattern, think mud tires made for off-road. People will say they can clog up, but all tires are going to clog up under a certain amount of snow. Just make sure they're in good shape, make sure they're inflated, and get you a tire inflator as well, like a car, like a 12-volt or a battery-powered tire inflator, because in order to driving like a lot like mud later. Anyway, you're going to want to make sure that you're also prepared to be stuck. So, a little set of track or a Tractor Supply Company store. They'll generally have dig and get the little buckets. Go over in the paint section. They've got 5-gallon buckets and they've got little buckets. I keep the rest of the stuff in a 5-gallon bucket at the house, but in truck one I keep 2 of the little buckets. One of them with salt, one of them with sand. If I'm going for a big lake effect event, I'll also throw the 5-gallon buckets in there as well, because I'm going to run out, mostly digging other people out. But that and a little scooper, so you can get that out of there. The little shovel helps too.
31-2 location, 2.5 stories, single family, nothing evident from.
Also, just be prepared to be stranded. Survival blanket, aluminized survival blanket, a real blanket, hot packs, like from a first aid kit, hot packs, spare food and water. Chef Boy RD, all that stuff is pre-cooked, so you can actually eat it cold. And extra water, although if it's cold enough, the water will freeze. But you shouldn't freeze if you leave it still long enough. Move it a little bit every now and then. You just got to be careful. The biggest thing is the food and water. You ideally don't want to be stuck. Now, when you get into certain amounts of lake effect snow, man, it's going to get tricky. I myself, I went to Buffalo, New York back in 2022 for that huge lake effect snow event where over the period of 2 days they wound up with over 7 feet of snow. Lost connection at 12-volt tire pump. Yeah, you're going to want to treat it like off-road driving, like mud tire, driving in the mud. So if you have halfway decent tires, you might have to air down and a little bit to get a bigger contact patch. So you're going to want to carry a 12-volt tire pump or a battery, like a handheld battery-operated tire pump, like a DeWalt or something, to reinflate your tires afterwards when you're in a bit of a better area. Traction boards. So Rural King, Tractor Supply Company, plastic traction boards. They're actually not that expensive for the really cheap ones. Truck one has a set of them strapped to the roof rack, and I think I might have paid $10 for that set, that pair of them. Salt and sand. Go to Home Depot, get a bag of salt and a bag of sand, 2 5-gallon buckets and 2 of the smaller buckets, and you can get the lids for them. The buckets are all going to be over in the paint section. You're going to want some rock salt and some playground sand. Anything not to get stuck. And then also just things like that. But definitely water. Because if you're prepared to be stuck, then it's not an emergency when you are stuck. Aluminized survival blanket, regular blanket, hot packs, like from a first aid kit, hand warmers. There are actually battery rechargeable hand warmers and automobile electric blankets. While I don't have a car electric blanket, it's not a bad idea. You just want to be careful with lake effect snow. A big lake effect snow event like Buffalo back in 22 where they got 7 feet of snow in 2 days. that type of thing, I was in truck 3, which at the time was truck 1, but I was in my current truck 3. It's a little Compass. I got brand new off-road tires before I went, which I still have on the truck. BFG all-terrain KOs. Very, very good tire, apparently. And I followed plows in. So that was my trick. I followed plows in. I've got some friends that went up there. I know Reed Timmer was up there in a rental Grand Wagoneer, the newer Grand Wagoneers. It was like the first year of release for them. That had regular street tires on it.
Ready to charge.
And 25 subscribers in 3 days. I see that. That's on Kick. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah, and he wound up pushing snow with his hood at one point and actually abandoning his rental and going out on foot to cover the Lake Effect snow event. Brandon Clement, Jonathan Petramalo, they were both up there. I want to say they were in Clement's RAV4. Quite sure how they did. They did very well. They got out in the South Towns very well. Jacked up diesel Ford pickup truck person, and the front of the hood is at the level of my shoulder or like my jaw, and I'm 5'7", and he was pushing snow with the hood. And he actually successfully pushed snow with the hood without a snowplow, I might mention. Pushed snow with the hood for miles and miles. I remember being out there with him. I was in roughly the same area he was, but he took a more snow-logged route that the plows hadn't gotten to yet. He got better footage, but man, it was tougher. Tougher. This is the city of Butler. Taking it easy today. Yeah, Lake Effect is mind-boggling stuff. That Buffalo event was about the worst I've ever seen. But the funny thing is that 7 feet of snow in November of 2022, it was 5 days. It wasn't a week. It was 5 days after I got back from Florida covering Hurricane Nicole with JVP, with Weather Nation. And 5 days after standing in a hurricane, and it wasn't just me. 5 days after standing in a hurricane in Jacksonville, Florida, Daytona, Florida, Wilbur Beach, those areas. Me, Brandon Clement, Brett Adair, Jonathan Petramala, all those guys were up in New York standing in 7 feet of snow. Whiplash. You want to talk about whiplash? Beautiful Florida beach on the day after the hurricane went through, and it's 75 degrees and just marvelous. And then 22 degrees, 7 feet of snow. We got mired in there for a little while in a place called Blasdell, and met up with Brandon Kopic and Vince Welty. Yeah, 0 to 100 real quick it was. We figured out a way to get out of that town, get around the police, and that was the biggest thing, was the police were just setting up roadblocks everywhere. And then you had big rigs clogging everything, and they'd shut down the interstate like they always do. They always shut down I-90, which, I mean, is a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, but, don't shut down the interstate. Snow buggy there. But, It was the same year, so they got hit in November, and then they got hit again in December. And when they got hit that second time, lots of people died, because it really got the city of Buffalo proper real good. And then there was other things happening, which I'm sure didn't help. You had people that were actually going out there robbing people during the snowstorm. People would be snowed in, and they'd be like, oh, can someone please bring me some food? I don't have any more food in the house, and my kid's in here and everything, on like support pages on Facebook. And then some dude would be like, yeah, where are you at? What's your address? I'll bring you some food. And they'd give them their address, and then a car full of people with guns would show up and rob the house. Real humanitarian type stuff. was Buffalo Conveyor too. I didn't go to that one because I was ridiculously sick. Petramala didn't go to that one because he was sick too, and I don't think Adair went either because he was sick as well. We all got sick on the first Buffalo Conveyor. Hell, Brett on the first one was holed up in a hotel room in Buffalo, and there was 8 feet of snow outside. He had to have medications airdropped by drone. Had the flu real bad. I remember that. I was trying to get to him with a bunch of medicines and couldn't. There was no getting into Buffalo from the south towns. Parked next to snowdrifts, twice the height of my truck. And that's in a city that's used to it, by the way. That's in a city that's used to it. 20 inches, 36 inches, you know, 1.5 to 3 feet of snow in 3 days. That sounds like a lot. I'm not saying it isn't. It would cripple most major cities, especially south of the Mason-Dixon line. That's just a day in some of these northern cities. Buffalo, in some cases Chicago, Valparaiso, Gary. You get up around Toledo, Cleveland, Erie, Buffalo. That's actually a pretty light-duty event. 7 to 8 feet of snow in one snowfall. That's ridiculous. I remember when Erie got 6 feet of snow in a night a few years back. This was like 2018. It might have been 2018 or 2019. Erie, Pennsylvania got 6 to 7 feet of snow in a single day. And the National Guard was coming and digging old people out of their homes with bulldozers and front-end loaders to rescue them. Because, you know, the power was out too. And even if the power's out, if there is 7 feet of snow outside and the power is out, if you have a generator, does it matter? If it's not permanently installed on your house with a lean-to roof and a tall pipe, does it matter? It doesn't. Because you're not going to be able to run it anyway. Unless you dig a path all the way from your garage out to the front of your property, because you want it at least 20 feet away from doors and windows. Please remember that, people. If you run in a generator, you want it 20 feet away from doors and windows. Don't run it inside your garage. You're not going to be able to do it unless you're digging down, and then the snow is still falling. And then you got to get to your interconnect point to plug your generator into your electrical grid. City of Butler here. I actually like this place. There are a lot of people that live here talk about, oh, it's all heroin and I can't wait to leave and I just got to get enough money, man, and I'm moving out. But we moved here. I like this place. I wonder if Pete's at work today. Wonder. Yeah, that second Buffalo event, the one where people were robbing each other, that was a lot worse. The snowfall totals, I don't believe, were as high, but it came accompanied with extreme winds. We're talking like Category 1 hurricane strength winds on the eastern end of the lake. 95-mile-per-hour winds. And it was caking everything in inches upon inches of ice. There was a restaurant, I remember, both Reed and Clement went to. There was a restaurant, I think it was a seafood place, on the eastern shore of Lake Erie. that had over a foot of ice caked to the outside of it. Just a bad situation all the way around, and that's what you can wind up with lake effect snow. I remember talking to those guys. They photobombed each other's look-lives and B-roll. Reed's doing a shoot in downtown Buffalo for AccuWeather, and in the background you can see Brandon Clement flying a drone around, and then Clement did B-roll driving down the street. You see Reed Timmer standing there in an AccuWeather jacket on Weather Nation TV giving the peace sign, you know. Kind of all, we work for different people, but kind of all like one big community. Chilling. We're taking it easy today. And you know what? I'm in a truck with a low overhead clearance right now. It just occurred to me. I have low overhead clearance right now, so let me go to the hospital and go to the parking garage. Trucks 2 and 3 will fit in the parking garage at the hospital, and that means they can get to the roof. It's always good views from up there. Truck 1 can't make the clearance. Truck 1 is very tall. 2005 Grand Cherokee that's on a lift with big tires, and I didn't do that. I bought it that way. Then I put a roof basket and a full-size spare and a Starlink dish on the roof, and it cannot make clearance for parking garages. Chrysler product with a missing fog light bulb. Is anything more Chrysler? For lake effect is the game to try and keep moving. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The goal for that is to try and keep moving. You don't want to sit still too long. Garbage. Hard workers there. It's a good job. It's a good union job. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't want to get mired in. Now, I've sat still before on lake effect snow. And sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you can't go any further. Sometimes every road is closed. I remember driving on this road up there in New York, and the traffic lights were out. There was wrecks everywhere. And I drove through an intersection, and I had my window kind of cracked. I drove through an intersection, I hear this voice, hey, stop, and all this, and I'm like, I don't see anybody. I look across the street on the other side of the road. There's a black Dodge Charger, no lights closed. I said, where's the sign saying the road's closed? Oh, put them up yet. Where's a guy standing? Aren't your police lights on? Oh, I ain't turned them on yet. Like, I remember that. That was the dumbest thing in the world. Alright, hospital parking garage. We're going up to the roof. A good clearance on the WK2 Grand Cherokee, the 2011. Love this truck. This is my daily driver. This truck is smooth. It's got a big V8 engine, but it's quiet. You know? Black, elegant. I had a white Compass. With the company colors, I was going to run white trucks. But I had a white Compass, and I wanted to cover it in bed liner so it wouldn't get tore up by hail and debris. And so I painted it with auto parts store bed liner. You either want the bed liner or you don't. And then I got this truck at the beginning of the year, and it was black, and it tuxedo black. It looked so good. And I was like, well, I guess my fleet color's black now. So when I got that next Grand Cherokee that was silver with black fenders and a white hood, I painted the whole thing black. There's another car. Yeah, sometimes you can't help but stop with lake effect. And I'd had a very busy week. Because when you get back from a hurricane, the job's nowhere near over. I was JBP's PA at the time. And it was I remember, I don't want to put out too much about the man. He's dead now. I don't want to put out too much about the man, but we get back and he was on vacation. He went to watch the rocket launch, the Artemis rocket launch. He's a big space guy in Florida. And then while he was on vacation, he called me. He said, hey, his mom had been sick a long time. He called me and said, hey, my mom died this morning, So there was that, talking with him, getting him through that. And then the work isn't over, he still had work to do. He had packages to make. Yeah, he is. He had packages to make, So he was editing packages. And I was helping him by remote, do the package editing. I edited a couple of packages for him. Because he was just tired and, he's coming back from vacation. Mom just died. He's got to deal with a funeral now, all that stuff. And I was like, yeah. I helped him out. Taught me how to edit packages. There you go. Good view of the houses over there. Somewhat of a good view of the houses over there.
956.
And then I was doing my own stuff. I had to edit my own packages for LSM. And that took a little bit. And I was putting those up. And I had to do the billing because I'm an independent contractor. So I had to total out the billing and send that off, the invoice off to Weather Nation. And then I've got to work an EMS shift in the middle of that, and I got to get the truck ready for this snow because I'm seeing this out the corner of my eye, days away coming. When I say it was 5 days between getting on the plane in Florida and being in the lake effect snow in Buffalo, well, I knew it was coming for 4 days. So, by Monday, I knew that this was going to happen, and I knew I was going to be going. So then you got to go, I had bald ass tires on my chase truck. I had to go get tires, get those installed. I put a rack up. I had to get my, all my supplies, food, water, snow shovels, salt, sand, traction boards, all that shit. I had to go buy it because I didn't have it. I was tired, bro. Tired. I stopped in the worst, shittiest little red carpet inn in a town called Northeast Pennsylvania for the night. And I got there at 10 o'clock at night. Checked in. Checked for bed bugs. There isn't any. I am not a fish. Get rid of the hiccups there. And then, there was hair in the shower. The peephole of the inside hallway door was covered in shampoo. Dig that out, Go check. There's no coffee. There's no amenities. There's no nothing. Hotel rooms, $52 a night. When I came out in the morning, truck 3 had a foot of snow on it. To drag that all off. So yeah, you'll get buried. And that wasn't even in the main snow band. You'll get buried pretty quick. loving Keystone Storytime. I appreciate it. I like telling Keystone Storytime, you know. But yeah, that was a bad winter. That was an absolutely bad winter. Probably the worst winter I've ever had. You go do that, you get sick. And I didn't want to go to Buffalo because number one, it's going to be over Christmas Day, and I've got a little kid. Number two, wasn't feeling good. I was sick. And then I was asking JVP. I was like, "Yo, are they going to send you out to Buffalo?" And he's like, "I don't know." But then he got COVID, and he had COVID earlier. He had it in mid-November. Said he got COVID in Florida, he thinks. He was an older guy. He was in his 60s. And he didn't, he had it, and then he didn't have it. It went away after a couple of weeks. And that was during the time I was helping him out with packages, too, because he still had to put packages in. But he was sick as a dog. So we helped him, do the packages and the hurricane package, that final hurricane package for 2022. I did a little work on that, helped him out. And he went back on the air. And then in December, that Buffalo snow came around Christmas time, and I was sick as a dog. And I was still cruising around here locally, trying to get footage. I do that a lot. I'd get footage around here locally when stuff happens. And plenty of weather happens around here. I looked at my CDN uploads over time, and I've been averaging at least usually 1 to 2 videos a month over the whole year, and it's been getting more and more as the years go on. Last year there was a ton of videos. I probably did 3 to 4 a month, and that's just locally. Got through Christmas time, got into early January. I was still sick, and I get a phone call. JVP died in the middle of the night one night, early January, and then that was like, okay, I'm out of work, so that wasn't fun. But did more lake effect, did more in-town snow. I did a lot of snow from 22 to 23, and I couldn't sleep. So it was crazy. During that time period, I could be laying in bed, not sleeping, and I could hear just the snow hitting the window. And then I was out the door, freezing in the dark, shooting snow packages, doing look lives. This garage I did a ton of look lives at. We're trying to launch a product at the time. We're trying to launch a stream product through LSM. Brett 8 Air, meteorologist David Neal, Jarvis. We were trying. We didn't keep it up. Throughout 23, things got better. And 24, things really got turned on. But this year's been kind of a drag. 25 has been kind of a drag. There's not been a lot going on out this way. There was early, but later on there wasn't. 2025. 2024, I started the year with a tornado on the ground in central Illinois on February 7th. So that's how 2024 went. I was in Illinois 3 times for tornadoes in the span of a month, and that was February to March. Had one in the Chicago suburbs. That was kind of a little co-op deal. We all wound up on the same road heading into Aurora after dark under a PDS tornado warning. It might have been a PDE, I can't remember. We did get a shot or two of it through the trees every time it would power arc. It was, I was there with LSM, and behind me was Kylie Blanton, who now is Keystone Prime. I hired her after that. And then right in front of me was Stephen Walshley, Lincoln Hauser, and Jaden Johnson, Severe Studios. And we all got it. We wound up on a parking garage, casino parking garage overlooking downtown Chicago. You could see all the way out to it. You could see the storm rolling into it. Very electrically active storm. The tornado dissipated, but you could see it. That year was nuts. March 14th in Ostrander, Ohio, live on the Weather Channel and Ryan Hall, y'all, and a couple of other places. Actually, let's say AccuWeather. April 17th, did the tornado in Windham, Ohio. Weather Channel, AccuWeather, NBC, ABC, a few others, man. Did really well throughout that year. But this year, just was kind of like snows, and then early March we had high-risk days, March 14th and 15th, and we got March 15th, just barely missed, but I mean we were on it, but we couldn't see it. The tornado in North Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Does that rain turn? When does that rain turn to snow for you? 48 and 72 hours or weeks to come. Thanksgiving. That's pretty typical around here. We've had some snow, sprinkles of snow, little light snow events, but really nothing worth shooting. Although I did shoot the Lake Erie lake effect snow about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And then I did Ashtabula, Ohio, Mentor, Ohio, Chardon, Ohio the next day. It's decent lake effect. But as far as here around Butler and Pittsburgh, southwest Pennsylvania, just little events, little tiny events until Thanksgiving, usually every year. And then this year, we're going to be getting snow, I want to say Black Friday. We should get some snow Black Friday. Possibly appreciable snow. Not too bad. The lake effect's going to start up on Thursday. The lake effect that I won't be there for. Because I just have too much to do. I got Thanksgiving on Thursday. I got work on Friday. And then I've got the parade on Saturday. Live show, by the way. Live show coming up on Saturday. I want to say that's going to be 2 or 3 p.m. I want to say 3 p.m. Let's go ahead and set it at 3 p.m. Eastern. 3 p.m. Eastern, I think, would give us enough time. We could do a brief show, 3 p.m. Eastern, transition out to a radar stream, and then pick it up with stream shift. Get truck 1 prepped and throw everything in there. Transition the stream to truck 1, and then do the Christmas parade at 5 p.m. It might start at 6 p.m. I'm not sure, but we'll be live that whole time, and I'll have updates. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do on Saturday. And we'll probably get, you know what, it's probably going to be really cool. Because I believe, I would have to look, but I believe we're going to get snow on Saturday here locally. And if there's snow after dark for the Christmas parade, oh, that's going to be aesthetic as hell. I'm going to get my wife to shoot video. Meteorologist. Who's live? There's no head if it's all in the microphone. Ham radio guys are a lot different from commercial radio guys. Let me just say that. They really are. In commercial world, we call that an HHCH, or a handheld control head. That's why I call it a control head. That's because that's what Motorola calls it. So that's what it is. But yeah, no, we're probably going to get snow for that, and that's going to be amazing. If we do get snow for that, I'm probably going to run an an actual CDN dash stream during a parade. So we'll see. You know what? I might set up a live stream for it. I might give her my my live stream camera and a tripod and have her just set that up and run the parade live. I think we're gonna have a snowy December. That's what everything's pointing to. Snowy December. I've been following here lately, speaking with and going on our lives and stuff, and just watching, you know, Chief Meteorologist Andrea Michaels from Fox 43 in Harrisburg. And I was talking with her the other day on her stream, the same thing that I think. So we're looking at La Nina erosion. We're talking about a snowy December for most of our same areas, and then kind of like a little bit of a warmer and dry January, but then February and March is going to be cold and have a lot of snow as well. It's kind of a typical pattern for up here. Every now and then it'll surprise you. You'll get into the middle of January. You'll get into the middle of January and you'll have no snow, no rain. All of a sudden one day it'll be partly cloudy and 62 degrees for 2 or 3 days. Those are the days I get out and work on the trucks, because something's always broken by then. You get that first bit of lake effect snow, you do the first chunk of lake effect snow season, and you bend a tie rod, or you mess up a ball joint, or you need to change a wheel bearing. And then you use a different truck, and then January comes and it's warm outside for a couple days, and then you go fix your original truck and you finish out the winter in it, and then you fix it again in the spring. That's why I now have 3 trucks instead of 1. But this one, my God, this one is so nice. It is so nice. I'll flip the cameras. I don't know if anybody's watching my fleet videos. But look at this. Leather. You got the leather in here with the Overland logos embroidered on it. Really, really, really nice quality headliner. Like there's no fingerprints or grease or anything in this one. I took care of this one. You got the full panoramic roof, right? Full panoramic glass roof. Big sunroof. This actually does open. Love this thing. The controls are up here for all of the lighting. There's hidden lighting. You can see the rear stick. If you look real hard, you might be able to see the side sticks in the side windows. I got single unit heads in the side windows. I got a big forehead in the back. And I've got a visor light up here in the front. 2-part visor light. Everything's undercover. Everything's hidden. I can use this as a chase truck, but it's my daily driver. I've got all the accoutrement in here for a chase truck, but it's like mounts, and I can transfer stuff in if I really want to. And me and Kylie used this truck on the Dixie weekend back in March of this year. And like I was saying, we just barely missed North Tuscaloosa. We met up with, man, there was a big LSM crew out there at the time. We met up with, that's home turf for LSM down there. I'm LSM, but I'm a remote guy, you know. That's like their home base down there. Field meteorologist Brett Adair, field meteorologist Tim Jones, Heath Lawler, Sarah Kasabian, Brandon Jarvis. We met up with those guys right there in North Tuscaloosa after it damaged the gas station. And then we hauled over to the west. And we were sitting in a parking lot in Gordo, Alabama. They had the drone up and we were watching this massive wedge coming. High ground speed. Got tied up in town. And we made it out of town to the north. And I was thinking we actually missed the tornado. But we didn't. It was just a Dixie tornado. There was so much rain wrapping this thing. And I pulled my dash cam footage reviewed it. What I found was you could see the cone, and you could actually see it moving and leaving across the street in front of us, but you had to really tweak the colors and max out contrast, and then you could see it. So it was right in front of us, so you couldn't see it with your eyes. Ripped the second floor off of a house. We actually did search and rescue on that house. Tore down a bunch of trees, ripped the roofs off of a couple of other houses, scattered everything out. Nobody was hurt, which was good. A fire captain came up in that house. You know, we had hard hats on, helmets. A fire captain walked up in that house with like a pair of muck boots and a radio and a baseball cap. And he started heading up the stairs. Hello, is anybody up there? And then me and Heath were standing in the living room like, hey, bud, the second floor is gone. And then you could hear wood falling down the staircase, and he goes, oh, I'm going to go get my helmet. I thought that was, why would you have ever gone in that house without one? But he went and got his helmet and then went and searched the second floor that didn't exist anymore. He's walking around up there. They had gone to a friend's house for shelter. Me being a rookie storm chaser, what are laws around the green flashing lights and or what flashing lights chasers are allowed, even though I'm not a chaser per day, just extremely passionate? Okay, so there is no one set of laws. I'll say that. There's no one set of laws. There's 50 sets of laws in the United States when it comes to this. However, in most states, in the vast majority of states, amber lights are for service vehicles, utility vehicles, roadway vehicles, things like that. That basically means caution in the vast majority of states. Now, there's some states that are super strict about lighting. Nebraska comes to mind. But even though Nebraska is strict about lighting, chasers still run them there, and they rarely ever have problems. Because, truth be told, if there's a big tornado on the ground and you have enough cops to be pulling people over for flashing lights, you have too many cops. Nobody has that much budget. Stay away from red and blue. All amber is a pretty safe bet. Maybe amber and white facing the front. Usually that's allowed. Green. Don't run green without running amber, number one, in any state that you're in, because oftentimes they can mean different things. If you are in 2 states that come to mind, 3 states actually that come to mind right off my top of my head, Missouri. Green, all green lights, I believe, is a volunteer firefighter in Missouri. Green and amber, I've gotten away with it in Missouri, but that doesn't mean you should try. New York and New Jersey, green lights of any kind. Now, let me let these people finish talking. Okay. Green lights in New York and New Jersey of any kind, even if accompanied by amber, the laws up here are a little different. It's a de minimis law. If a green light is involved, that means that you are active emergency medical services, you're an EMT or a paramedic, and you're on your way to or at the scene of a call. That's what that means in New York or New Jersey. My trucks are set up. All of my trucks are set up, because I'm so close to New York and New Jersey, to be able to do amber-green combo or all amber. And when I'm in New York and New Jersey, or Missouri usually, I use the all amber setting. Don't want to be breaking any laws, and it doesn't give you any authority at all. I'm going to let you know that. It doesn't give you the authority to do anything. I use them usually in heavy lake effect snow, in active chase operations when I'm right on a tornado, or parked on the road, or the side of the road. If I can get out in a parking lot, I prefer that, because I don't like the chances of almost getting hit. Because these truck drivers nowadays, most of them aren't from this country. Most of them can barely drive as it is, and they go full send in the worst conditions known to man constantly. And they will hit you. So I try not to be around that as much as possible. And I do a lot of interstate work. So I use my lights when I'm stopped, when I'm on the shoulder, or when I'm doing something that's going to have my full attention. And I know people are like, well, you need to pay attention to only driving if you're driving, you know, and that's, I'm a solo chaser sometimes, man. That's total bullshit. You have to be able to operate. You have to be able to do multiple things at once. And don't be dangerous about it, but it's going to require paying attention to more than one thing. And I figured green amber, if I ever did from what I've seen chaser videos, would be really 80% extreme weather, 20% snow. Oddly enough, I found that flipped. I probably use my I call them sprite lights. I probably use my sprite lights 80% of the time in heavy snow and 20% of the time in extreme weather. Just how it is. If traffic is moving and you are moving, there's really no point in them, because it goes back to what I was saying a second ago. They don't give you any authority. Despite what you may have seen yesterday, they don't give you any more authority than anyone else on the road. They don't allow you to clear red lights. They don't allow you to go through intersections like that. They don't demand people move over for you. Oklahoma was trying to have a law put in place earlier this year and late last year where you could get a storm chasing license, and the rules were very strict. You had to work for a news media agency, and originally they had also given them to tornado research vehicles for universities, but they took that away. And it's almost like the one huge station in Oklahoma City that has a bunch, like a big fleet of storm chasers that lobbied openly for the bill and spoke in favor of the bill, were the ones that wrote the bill. Needing to speed up. I see them being used when needing to speed up and catch storms. Is that a no-no? Generally, you don't want to speed. I'm just going to give you the safe answer. Generally, you don't want to speed. Now, do we do it? Yes. Everyone does it. Even the people you see on Twitter talking about, this is dangerous, you shouldn't do that. They do it too. The only difference is they do it without lights. It's a long-standing thing, very long-standing thing. I remember arguments about amber flashing lights on the Stormtrack and Skywarn bulletin board service forums in like the early 2000s. I remember this argument on hamsexy.com in like 1998. It's been around a long time, and there are chasers that are in favor of it, and there's chasers that aren't. They aren't required by any means. I will say, if you're going to be sitting on the side of the road or on the shoulder, and you know, you'll find very quickly as a new chaser that happens quite a bit, at least get something facing the rear. You know, you can see the little four-headed stick in the back window there. Get one of those. All amber. Just use all amber if you have any doubts about it at all. Now, Minnesota, your laws are very similar to Wisconsin, I believe, and Iowa. I am not a fish. There we go. Very similar to Wisconsin and Iowa. A friend of mine, storm chaser, Vince Welty, lives in southern Wisconsin. I've actually seen his truck in person. His rear-facing lighting is amber, green, and red, which red generally is a no-no, but the cops around there don't seem to mind as long as you don't blend in blue. But like I said, it depends on where you are. It really does. Brandon Kopic, a lot of those guys kind of adhere to a formula, and you'll see this. I think Aaron Rigsby's the same way. Jordan Hall's the same way. You'll see amber, green, and red to the rear, amber and green to the sides, amber and white to the front, or just amber to the sides, or amber all the way around. If you see other colors, generally they're to the rear. I've seen Vince's and Brandon's work quite a bit. Yeah, a lot of us have. They started out together when they hit the big time. They were chase partners during their independent days, and then they were both hired by Ryan Hall, y'all, as in-house chasers there for about a year. I remember that as when I met up with both of them in Blasdale, New York, was actually the day after they had been let go by Ryan Hall, and they were still driving around. You know, they got let go while they were out in the field, so they were driving around in Ford Explorers that had these big radar pattern graphics wraps on them, said Ryan Hall, y'all, down the door and everything, Storm Seeker and all that. It was the day after they had been let go, and Brandon actually had duct tape over Ryan Hall, y'all, on the door. Vince didn't cover up anything. He was kind of mad. He didn't cover up anything. He left everything as it was. He sold the truck with the graphics wrap on it. It was spotted driving around Chicago with the graphics wrap still on it and no lights on it. A couple of months after he sold it. That's dedication right there. But yeah, that's very common with storm chasers. I know that Jordan Hall has a rear light stick on his roof basket. I believe would probably be Phoenix. And on the rearward side is all amber, except when he steps on the brake, 2 of the modules are brake lights. That's also pretty common. Truck 1 and my fleet, I kept the lighting colors separate by not even using dual color light heads, except for the very front on the hood. I use a set of amber lights all the way around, which reminds me, another one is showing up today. Speed Tech Lights has sent me a 6-head dual color light stick, amber clear, that I can use as a warning light and a flood bar, so it's waterproofed. So they're hooking me up with that, and I actually am putting that on the front of the roof basket on truck 1, although it might not be on there in time for the parade, or I might make some time tomorrow or Thursday to put it on. So I'll be able to use that as a warning light and a flood bar, so that's kind of why I'm throwing that up there instead of anywhere else. And I keep my ambers and my greens on that truck separate. So if you look at the back of the truck, there's an amber stick in the back window, and there's 2 green light heads by the license plate. Well, those 2 green light heads, when I step on the brake pedal, even if they're flashing, they turn into red brake lights, and they're just steady. They come on solid and stay on. When I let go of the brake, they go back to flashing green, and they will do that too if the flashing lights aren't turned on. So they'll still do that. There are brake lights all the time. Makes things a little safer. Gives you an extra set of brake lights. I kind of want to do that with this truck, but I also kind of don't, because this truck is extremely undercover. It has the heavy window tint in the back. There's a decent tint strip up top here in the front that actually you cannot see the visor lights through the tint. I want to keep it that way because this is my daily driver. I use it when I need to, but I don't want, like there's black graphics on this black truck that are reflective on the tailgate. They have the website, an LSM sticker, and the truck number, and those are all black. They're blacked out. You can't see them until you shine a flashlight or headlights on them. Greenhorn question, but for a speeder to catch up to a storm or evade a storm citation when you're flipping the sprites on it versus just driving accelerating with no sprites. Either way, if you run across the wrong cop, you're going to get a ticket. And I will tell you, if you do it with lights on, you're probably going to get a bigger ticket, because there's probably in every state some arcane statute that says only certain vehicles can have them. And while they generally look the other way on amber lights, if you piss off a cop, they're going to get you. I would definitely avoid doing that. Yeah, like I said, they're not to be used for speed, really, because what are you going to do? I mean, every now and then I've had somebody move out of my way, and it always makes me feel bad, That wasn't my intention. But, too, you're trying to get to the tornado, but you're talking about a normie who might not know positioning and might not know what he's even looking at. So he's trying to get away from it too, but he's driving right into it. And you really can't do anything about that. This is kind of a sad thing, but you know, we've seen that. There's been storm chasers out there in the past that have seen basically the end of a motorist's life because they drove into the damn thing. I know Shane Adams was the last person to see a police officer, I want to say in Kansas, Greensburg, Kansas. Last person to see him alive during a nighttime tornado. They went to intercept and they were set up filming, and a cop came up and said, "Where is that going?" And they told him where it was going. And he said that there was a couple of families down there in the path that their relatives had contacted the police department and told them that they don't have a phone, and you know, can you please go let them know that this is coming? And he went down there to warn a couple of families, and he got tossed. So yeah, there's no point really in using your lights to speed and catch up to a storm. Two very well-known storm chasers did that exact thing yesterday and ran about 7 red lights in the process on their live streams. It was being live streamed from 2 different cars at 2 different locations, and doesn't look good. Not even within the chasing community, it doesn't look good. It's they're catching a lot of hell for that right now. And you know, there's other things to think about too. Am I saying anything's going to happen to these 2 particular chasers? I don't know. The cops might mail them tickets, and they both have corporate backing. They might lose their rights, you know. They might be punished in some other way through corporate management. They might lose sponsorships. You know, when you start dealing with outrage bait and online mobs get organized, and then all of a sudden there's boycotts and advertisers are getting involved. Things can happen, especially if you do it for a living. Oh geez, yeah, I'm not trying to run 20 red lights. I'm just trying to figure out appropriate times to engage the sprites. Extremely low visibility, extremely heavy rain. People say, don't do that. Yeah, do that. Because the whole thing is you want people to stay the fuck away from you. Heavy snowfall, and I mean, if you're going into a debris field, you shouldn't be there, but if you're in the kill box, maybe. You want normies to know that they need to stay out of there. That, and the normies that aren't paying attention, and the truck drivers especially, they will hit you. So that's when you do it. When you run into situations where you're going to be sitting in a road, maybe you can't go any further. Maybe you've made it to the debris field and there's naily boards and screws and sheet metal and stuff laying across the road, trees across the road, and you're not going to go any further. Yeah, light them up. And people don't block the road. Yes, block the road in those cases, because some 42-year-old wine mom in a 1999 Mercedes-Benz E-Class is going to go flying past you and run into a tree that's laying across the road. So, yeah, and put it across the road and light up in those cases. If you're on the side of the road and you're on the shoulder, but you're still pretty close to the road, go ahead and light up. You don't want to get hit. But the thing that you really want to try to do is position better. If you can get sufficiently off the road and you're on some land out here, that's preferable to having to sit on the shoulder with your sprites on. If you can find a parking lot, that's much, much better. Ran 7 red lights somewhere in Texas. Yeah, Houston. I'm not going to put people on blast by name. That's not me. But there was 2 of them, and they're well-known guys, and that's exactly what they did. There is another chaser that works for that station in Oklahoma City, who is a chase team with his wife, who was, I believe, one of the people behind that weird Oklahoma law that got struck down and it didn't get to the floor, where they were going to make storm chasers a licensed thing and then make them emergency vehicles. That guy has rolled a car on live television. That guy has hit Jersey barriers on live television. I don't know how many storm chasing trucks he's wrecked over the years. They've got a little bit of a reputation for it. And those two guys, I like them. I'm friends with them. I respect them. But their driving yesterday reminded me a lot of him. And yeah, it was multiple stoplights in the middle of the Houston metro area. So that's what you don't want to do. That's what you don't want to do. Two other things you don't want to do in that case when you get caught is apologize or try to defend it. You want to immediately go to your corporate interests and say, I fucked up in public, and then see what gets recommended if you have corporate interests involved. I'm going to say that a lot of this is being said from the perspective of somebody who has corporate interests involved. Because that's the way I've been for the past 8 years. It is a whole different world of storm chasing than when you're just doing it for fun, or because you like to, or because you're trying to, get known for streaming. Here, I'm going to reposition the truck. Get a little bit of a different view. We'll take a look at these houses over here across the street on this tiered mountain. This is also a pretty cool view. Oh yeah, Texas is militant about traffic enforcement, by the way. They will mail you tickets. They will figure out who you are, find out who you are, reference your location data from the storm itself, and then they will mail you tickets. I didn't see any Texas content yet besides Reed's YouTube. I didn't watch. I didn't know any of the names, so I'm sure I won't see it. Yeah, you will. If you spend any time on Twitter, you will. And it's probably going to make its way to Facebook. It's a kind of a big deal right now. It's been less than 24 hours. And it was just bad optics. It was an ugly look. Bad optics. Well, once again, I'm not putting out the names, but realistically, when it came to professional storm chasers, there were 3 people out yesterday that got anything, and one of them was Reed. And it wasn't Reed, so we'll be able to figure out who the other 2 are. Gotta look. I don't know what not to do. To know what not to do, yeah, you don't want to do that. Don't be a traffic menace. Because that shit, we already have a bad enough reputation. You don't want to make it worse. And some of it's justified and some of it's not. A lot of it comes from the stuff out in the plains where there'll be a severe weather day and there'll be 600 storm chasers in a line of unbroken traffic and everybody's jockeying with each other. Let alone, I would say quite fairly, that on those days, a maximum of 50 of them are going to be professionals. Maximum of 50 professionals. And then maybe another 200 to 300 well-known, higher-end, experienced hobbyist storm chasers. And then the rest of the 600 are going to be local yokels from town who just want to come out and see it. So they're following everybody else. So rookie chaser learns the do's and don'ts and very most common sense, I'd say. Yes, Alec, a lot of people are in a lot of places. I know you come from YouTube. You're a YouTube commenter. And I would hazard a guess that you're probably on Facebook. From just picking up the sounds of it, you're not on X. So what I would do if I were you, and take this as it is, you're going to get different interpretations and different interpolations of good, bad, and ugly. But get you an X account, search for hashtag weather Twitter, WX Twitter. They still call it Twitter because WXX is weird. So, X account, search hashtag WX Twitter and start following people, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That is where the largest contingent of the weather and storm chasing communities are. And it's really, really odd, too, because there is specifically storm chasers, but weather Twitter itself encompasses a much bigger space. You've got people, you got storm chasers of every level: rookie, amateur, professional, hobbyist. You've got news station chasers. You've got people from local and national media outlets. You've got people that are stringers, people that also do fires and crime and stuff like that. And then you've got the on-camera broadcast meteorologists. You've got people from the NWS, the WPC, the SPC, all these different government agencies are there, the Hurricane Center. And then you get into collegiate academics, people that, you know, are professors for various meteorology schools and everything. They're on there. They're on there. I'm on all three, but my algo isn't full of weather stuff. Yeah, it's just tune your algo to weather Twitter, WX Twitter, and you'll see. You'll see. I'm hungry, man. 10:35 in the morning. 10:35. I think McDonald's is serving lunch. It's McRib time. I got to adjust the settings for my stream bot. It puts out automated texts way too much. Semi-professional hobbyist that hasn't crossed state lines for a storm yet, so that's where I'm at. Yeah, everybody's... Dude, don't feel bad. Everybody starts there.
Back at the ambulance entrance.
Everybody starts there. When I first started... it was in Virginia. Central Virginia. And we started as hobbyists, but, you know, Discovery Channel and everything, and me and my cousin started this little tiny thing where we'd go chasing, and then more people, you know, more of my friends got involved, and we had a little storm team. We'd never left Virginia to chase. Never really left Chesterfield County, City of Richmond, Henrico County, you know, that whole area. And we got involved with Skywarn. And at the time, Skywarn in that region, the amateur radio side of it, was somebody was saying, using their repeater at all, when the Weather Service helped pay for some of it, and they would just block up the air constantly during storm activations, talking about how they had to have hip surgery, or their wife was going to dialysis, and then I'm going to go down to the general store and all this crap. We couldn't use the ham radio. It wasn't worth getting a license back then. And there were no GMRS radio repeaters. And I also want to remind anybody who's younger that this was, I mean, we had cell phones at the time, but they were a lot of money. You could have a Motorola flip tack on the front to uncover the microphone. So we didn't really have cell phones the way people know them now. So if you were going to talk to other people in the field, and you were going to run like a storm team, and this guy was going to be over here in this part of the city, and another guy was going to be in this county over here, you needed radio. So we went to a trunk system that worked a lot like cell phone provider. It was a business trunk radio system, analog, 800 megahertz, type 2i hybrid, yeah. And ancient 1980s trunk style radio. And at the time, eBay was brand new, and you could go on eBay and buy these old 1980s $25 back then. And it would, like, I still remember, you know, feeling like, oh man, I hit the jackpot, you know. I went on there and I found a box of analog 800 meg Motorola MTX 800 portables. They were gigantic. You could knock somebody out with one of these things. And they didn't have batteries or antennas or chargers. It was just the radios, but it was like 20 of them in a box, and I got that box for $100. And then I bought, you know, enough batteries and chargers and antennas for everybody to have one. I think in total I probably spent $300. And we went and we had them programmed and put on that trunk system, and that's what we used to communicate with each other. Taught ourselves a lot of stuff, a lot of bad stuff, learned what not to do. And unfortunately, learning what not to do encompasses getting yelled at by the cops, being hassled by EMA, you know, stuff like that. But we learned, and I didn't really start leaving the state that I lived in to chase storms. You know, I started chasing storms with my cousin on a bicycle when we were 15 years old. I didn't really leave the state to chase until I was 21, 22, somewhere like that. Oddly enough, the guy that I was mentioning that I worked with earlier, JVP, John Van Pelt, the late JVP with Weather Nation, at the time, he was the regional coordinator for Skywarn in eastern North Carolina, central North Carolina, and I think he overlapped into some areas in southern Virginia. And when I started leaving the area to storm chase, I started running into him, being around him in the field. He was the first person I had ever seen that had sprite lights, amber and green. Back then it was all rotating lights and huge strobe bars and stuff. And he had strobe bars on his truck, and they were amber and green. I didn't even know wheeling. I didn't know anybody made green. I didn't know green was a color for that. So that's where I got the amber and green from. And you know, John, he stopped chasing in the field a long time ago, probably 15 years ago at this point. But I picked those up, and then after I had them and I was on Facebook showing the truck off for a while there, a guy, Kelly Williamson, one of those two chasers that used to chase for the Weather Channel, that got killed in that car accident where they murdered Corbin Yeager in Texas back in 2017. Well, he had them for a little while, and it just kind of caught on. So I'm not going to puff my chest and be like, if you see amber and green lights, you can credit me with that. You can credit JVP with that. But I did pick them up and spread them to a wider audience. Going chasing without a smartphone radar. Yeah. So there's a thing, and I still use it. The box for it is in truck one. And we didn't have it in the 90s. I want to tell you, the 90s were rough, especially if you weren't a scientist and you didn't really know what you were looking at. So radar data on the road in the 90s had a totally different look to it. What I had was I saved up and spent $200 on a little 7-inch, I want to say it was 7-inch CRT white radio accessories and stuff. And one of the things they said, and I ran it, I put it on my mirror and I ran it in. I had a Ford Bronco at the time. It had smoker windows. I ran the cable in through the smoker window and hooked the cable up. And the camp TV would have a 12-volt plug, cigarette lighter plug. And I'd plug it in and I could watch TV while I drove. And then when there was tornado warnings and stuff in the area, they would, burst in, Storm Team 6, WRIC or whatever. And they would bring up the radar, and the guy, meteorologist would be talking to him wall to wall, and he'd have the radar, and he's showing me on the radar where the hook echo is, you know, that type of stuff. And that's how we got radar data on the road. Mobile ThreatNet was the only product where you could reliably get radar on the box, and you connect a XM antenna to it, and it had a cable with a USB plug on it, plug into your laptop, and there was software that would go on your computer, and you'd call Sirius XM. It wasn't Sirius XM yet, it was XM. You'd call XM, and you'd say, I've got one of these WeatherWorks boxes, and you'd give them the radio ID, and you'd select a plan. They had 3 levels of plan that all had increasingly higher amounts of data that you could get. And if I remember correctly, back then, the highest tier plan was 2004. And you'd put that all together, and you would get a satellite signal from XM that would put radar information and weather information, overlay it on the software map, on that warm EarthMate serial GPS, and lay it on your dashboard. And then you had a Holux DeLorme add-on that they charged even more for that you would put on there. Like, that's how that worked back in the early 2000s. And I had one. I sold it at a certain point because I wasn't chasing anymore and I needed the money. I remember selling it on eBay, and then they came out with a second generation box, and I got one of those on eBay for $25 in like 2018. And then I bought a third generation box on eBay for $80 because they cost a lot of money to buy brand new from the company, and they are not worth much when you sell them online. I do turn it back on, but ever since getting on board with WeatherWise and getting Starlink and later on, man, I've been through all of the evolutions of this crap though. Sprint, the cell phone company Sprint that went out of business 5 years ago. I had a 3G EVDO PCM CIA slot card that would go into my laptop that provided really, really crappy data. And then I could use, what was that program I was using there for a long time? GR Level 3, Gibson Ridge. Let's see. I want pickup. Order here. That reorder. I don't need holiday pies. I'm ordering lunch. Sorry, right now here. And we'll go to rewards and deals. View all the rewards and deals. Apple pie, new reward. Oh. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, that was with McDelivery. I'm not doing that. Okay. Let's get a couple McRibs. Pay and place order. Let's see, which card am I going to use? I'll use that debit card. Yes, it's me. Can't wait to eat, man. I'm hungry. Fucking hot in here. Get the Keystone Prime t-shirt later. But, yeah, that's what we used to do back in the day. You had Baron ThreatNet, some people have figured out some things, like you could use other radar software. There was something called Global Sat. It was pretty good. There was a few others. I can't remember their names anymore. I think Gibson Ridge came out at a certain point in the early 2000s, but that was when data was still pretty unreliable. I mean, there is a time that older storm chasers talk about when they say, I had a Sprint cell phone because that was the best coverage in the plains. I had a Sprint cell phone because that was the best coverage in the plains. Tells you everything you need to know about data today. Man, I hope they give me some actual napkins. I don't know if I have any more in here. I don't have any more in there. Have any more in here? Yeah, I got some napkins in here. Throw those right there just in case. When mobile ThreatNet was still a new concept, it was originally aimed at satellite coverage, like satellite of storms for crew.
There you go, Dad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Meteorologist David Neal, formerly of Weather Nation and the Weather Channel, he actually did the promo video for Barron when it was sold to the cruise ship industry. I've actually seen it with my eyes. He posted it one time. These are good. I'm sitting in the curbside spot, so let me free that up. Go over here. Harold in his minivan just pulling out. Okay, yeah, everybody can finish cutting me off and go. Promise. Okay. Okay. Medical Plaza, which is not surprising for up here. We have an extremely high average age up here. No, they did not give me napkins this time, but that's okay because I have my own. Yes. Show that off. That's so good looking. Here's the McRib. Look at that. It's back. Barely any sauce on it this time. That's okay though, I like light sauce. Yeah, the biggest things with being a chaser, especially as a new chaser, you kind of learn what you're dealing with. Comet UCAR MET-Ed, good education source. Learn some forecasting techniques. Learn how to read a sounding. That's skew T. You can read that. You can learn how to read those. Comet UCAR MET-Ed. Good educational site. You know, just learn. Learn as much as you can. I would say check out pivotalweather.com. There's a free version. Once you learn how to read soundings, once you learn those QT charts, get you a Pivotal Pro subscription. Costs $100 a year. Costs $100 a year, and it's well worth it. I would say get a good radar software. I will obviously say WeatherWise. And the WeatherWise Plus and Pro tiers actually, because it'll track you. All right, it'll move the map and track you. That Storm Chaser mode will track with you. Little known fact, a lot of people don't know before they pay up for the Radar Scope Pro, especially if they're just starting. They don't really have time to test the technology before they want to use it. Radar Scope won't follow you. Radar Scope won't move the map with you. And it won't automatically select towers for you. WeatherWise will. I know there's that other one. I'm not going to say the name. I know there's that other one. Not worth it. All the stuff they're going to charge you for on that other one, a lot of that stuff WeatherWise will give you for free, and then WeatherWise's Plus and Pro tiers are a lot more affordable than that other one, and they work the same or better. So, pro tip:
First possible access issue, we notify state police.
Okay.
Station 99 copies, 99.3 plans.
Weatherfront is my cheeky little app for now. I used to be garbage Fox 9 app. Yeah, everybody starts out there one way or another. The first radar app that I ever actually used, that I came to depend on, was in the day. First smartphone app I really used for that. And then when they got shut down, I was using Radar Scope. And I forget the Nextel cell phone era. Nextel cell phones, like 2G, iDen, 800 megahertz, Nextel V-Cell cell phones back in like 2006. I had the Weather Channel app on that because they made apps for those. And like once every 15 minutes or something, they would get you a new static radar image. It was amazing. My God. The McRib is so good this year. The sauce is absolutely on point this year. It's more smoky and less tangy. So yeah, I forgot about Weatherfront. Probably because I'm an Android user. That tells me you're an iPhone user. going to say, I've heard good things about Weatherfront, but I don't have an iPhone, so I've never had it. And now I'm sponsored by WeatherWise, so I have no need for it. Yeah, I've heard good things. I will say that. I've heard good things from the users of that particular program. A couple people that are colleagues of mine, very well-respected colleagues out in Central PA, they're iPhone users. But I think they're back to RO now. They were involved in the early advertising and testing phase of Weatherfront, but I think they're back to RO as a sponsored set. Can't have a McRib and not eat the pickle, man. Yep. So if you're new to the game, I can see you want Sprite lights. I'm going to tell you, go through Speed Tech Lights. SpeedTechLights.com. SpeedTechLights.com. They are not prestige tier warning lights, so they won't cost $200 for one 3 LED light head. You'll get a good value for the money, and they even have twin color lights. They have some surface mount lights that'll function as a primary warning color and then a brake light color. The pricing isn't bad. They always have promo codes running. So you go on their site and the home page will give you a promo code. So 20% off today. Use this code. And then you can apply that code usually to the clearance rack items and get clearance rack items for dirt cheap. That's what I've done for a lot. I've actually have built 3 storm chasing trucks out of clearance rack items from Speed Tech Lights. And then there's also going to be stuff you're going to see on Amazon or LED Equipped or Extreme Tactical Dynamics or something like that, where it's like, oh, these lights are super cheap. Oh, this is a standalone light head for, $12. You don't want those. I'm going to just let you know that now. You don't want those. You're going to go on Amazon. You're going to see an 8 headlight stick for $42. You don't want them. They're not bright enough to be seen during daylight, and they like to catch on fire. They will burn your car to the ground. And anybody else watching, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to my house now. I've got some stuff I got to get done. I'm waiting on those deliveries. I've got a fluid motion filming quality a little bit, and then I've also got a light bar coming in from Speed Tech. I'd like to get those before the rain soaks them up or whatever, or be here when they get delivered. Got some work to get done myself. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, bud. Always appreciate it. So we'll be back. We'll be back here right shortly at some point, I'm sure. Till next time, Storm Chaser, B. Dean Barry, Keystone Prime.